Trauma happens to us when we can neither fight nor flee. We don't have any power to do anything about the event, and we don't have the power to run away from it, which is why this happens so often when we're kids, when we get mistreated or just something bad happens. For instance, when I was 4, we were living in South America, in Santiago, Chile. And all of a sudden, my older brother and I were sent off to live with an aunt and uncle that we had never met before in Holland, where we stayed for 6 months. And knowing my dad, he would have just dropped us off there and pretended like everything was fine. And 6 months later, he came back and picked us up and brought us back to Vancouver, where they had moved. And my younger brother had recently been born before we left for Holland, and then nobody ever talked about it. But for a 4-year-old to be left with strangers and not see his parents for 6 months, typically what the 4-year-old does is, I'm bad. There's shame. Right? When good things happen, 4-year-olds go, I'm great. This is really good. But when bad things happen, they take that on as something about them. They're not thinking, I did something bad. They think, I am bad. And I don't know what I did, but I better not do that again. So then we get more anxious about making mistakes in life, and relationships tend to have more anxiety around them because we don't know what to expect. And then, of course, afterwards, when just nobody ever talks about it, you learn, oh, so when you feel really bad, then you just keep it all inside. So often what kids do is they will freeze, they'll shut down, they'll disconnect. So a lot of people end up telling me they don't really remember very much about their childhood. And there's some truth in that for me as well. It's like part of what we did was just disconnect as a survival mechanism. The other possible survival mechanism learned is fawning, which means just really trying hard to please everybody and everything, and be super nice and give everything to others, because internally that little kid is like, well, I don't know what happened, but I better be super nice or the world could end. And yeah, that's just a little bit about trauma for you today.